It's an interesting day today. We have 6 planets in Aquarius. So that's all about expanded thinking. And also I looked at the Schumann resonance last night and it was at 600 hertz. So there's a lot happening in the collective at the moment as far as the planets lining up and also the Earth lining up with a very high frequency. So I've also been thinking about how I can actually start this latest newsletter with you. And so I'm going to start with these words. What does love do when you're too busy searching for it in all the wrong places? This weekend we head into Valentine's Day, where we celebrate the love that we have with someone else. And if you're not in a relationship, the best place to celebrate Valentine's Days is the loving relationship you have with yourself. And especially when we've been in lockdown over the last 12 months at various stages across the planet, we've been with ourselves and we've had to be with our thinking and we've had to be with ourselves and doing the things that actually restore our well-being. We have to take personal responsibility, not only for our health, but also for the state of our consciousness. And it's interesting because everything in the outer world is trying to drag you kicking and screaming into what we call a foreign event, something that's taking you away from your alignment with your soul. And there's a big theme at the moment. So I wanted to remind you, and not to, from a negative perspective, but just so you have an understanding that we are in the biggest spiritual war that we've ever been in. This is a fight for your consciousness, the fight for your connection with your soul, and the fight for our connection with what we might call God or creator or source energy, whatever it is for you. And this is one of the most valuable gifts that we have. And most people have no realization because their point of reference is the outer world. So how they decide how their life's going basically is by what's being told to them in a narrative. And at the moment, the best thing that we can do for ourselves in a loving way is to turn off all social media and to absolutely detach from the narrative, because it is actually sending people into a frightened state. And when you're in that frightened state, you're locked on to the very negative fear, three-dimensional matrix that we are all exiting from. So I want you to have a think about that. Now, love works in extraordinary ways, not in the way that we think and not sometimes in the way that we want. And I'll give you an example of that. I have a beautiful water device, a Kangen water machine that has beautiful electrically reduced water, so it's very high vibe, that I lend out to people. And last year I lent it out to my cousin because he developed cancer, and because of Brian's journey with cancer, I really wanted to make sure that he had every opportunity to flush out the toxins while he was having chemotherapy. So I let him have it for about 4 or 5 months. So I've just got the machine back yesterday because I wanted to lend it out to some other people who've been asking for it. Now, if you're like me, my natural instinct is to want to help. If people ask me, I just do the best that I can to support them in this journey. But yesterday was a little lesson for me. Brian and I had a look at my cousin when he returned the machine, and it was very clear in his behavior that he didn't get the message about the cancer journey. He just wants to get over with it so that he can go on his journey. There was no acknowledgement about, thank you for the machine, it's been great, I've really noticed this, or I haven't noticed that. It was like, oh, I've got to go and do up my new acquired car that I'm now doing up. And he was just in this busyness mode. And you can see from his physical body that it's really had a detrimental effect on him. And people don't know how to nurture themselves. And the first thing that we do is get into nature. And of course, we go to a beautiful place up in the mountains called Bright, which is Brian's place that he goes for healing, his magic mountain, he calls it. And we were lucky enough to escape there on the weekend. And it's just so good to detach from the outer world's negativity. So in our masterclass this week, we're going to talk about love, but not the romantic love. So we're going to go through it, and we're going to do some really great controls. I'll pop that out in our newsletter so you know what we're going to absolutely work on. So one of the things that I can also suggest is at this time, if you're feeling a bit lost or you want some clarity, this is a really great time to step into the community, get some support, and just start understanding why you incarnated on planet Earth at this time. It's been interesting. I had that asked of me yesterday. I was talking to a couple of women in the States who are working in their own field, and they asked me, why are you here? Why did you agree to come here at this time? And, you know, what just really spilled from my lips at the time was, I am here to help evolve consciousness so that I assist people with turning up the light of in their hearts so they can really discover how powerful they truly are as soul in a physical body. And this is where we're having to try to blend that link between us as a spiritual being and us in a physical body. And we get hooked into the outer world and don't realize how we can actually shift things. Now, currently on the planet, as I mentioned before, there's big fear programs that are operating, and there's a latest fear program which I can't even mention here because I will be censored, but let me say that wanting to stick some substances in your body and alter your DNA, and not a great idea, not a great idea. And so many people are getting caught in the outer world and caught into the fear of it. And so it's important at this time that you step out of that, really feel that you can come to a place where you can relax and know that we will give you the truth as much as we know it for ourselves and help you to discover the truth for yourself so that you know when things are happening in the outer world that you can really trust your intuition and trust that intuitive guidance that you're actually getting. Anyway, so that's what I just wanted to pop in here and say today. And please come to our next masterclass and share this video with somebody you feel like might get some benefit from it. I look forward to seeing you soon and seeing you all in our next masterclass this weekend. Bye for now.